Hey, what's up, everybody? BallietBran here. We got the normal weekly Sunday stream. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. It's not going to be too long of a stream. I know Wales and some of the other guys are streaming right now. Feel free to go tune in there if you'd like. But I want to be talking a little bit about some news that we heard yesterday. Richard had mentioned that there's going to be a fork of PancakeSwap, but that the actual token itself, the PulseSwap token, will be able to qualify for via another sacrifice. I also want to say the importance of staking. We had a over 24 hex per T-share payout the other day, and I know that was from a huge unstake that wasn't supposed to happen. But once again, if you were a hexagon staker, then you got that reward. So I want to go a little bit over that, some security things that you can do. You should never be interacting with your crypto on your phone. You should never have your seeds saved when it comes to any digital form. They should always be analog, pen and paper, and then some other security tips as well. But let me just say what's up to the chat. Once again, going to try and make this a brief stream so everyone can, tune in if they'd like. T-Shares says, hey, Brandon fam. Marion, happy Sunday, Hex fam. And then also, guys and gals, so December 2nd is going to be Hex's second birthday, which is really cool. It's really exciting. And I'll actually start off with a share screen that I kind of want to cover because some people like myself still have been kind of speculating that, hey, the fingers would be crossed that Pulse kind of got launched before the end of the year. But sometimes with software taking a little bit longer than people expect, that may or may not be happening. So once again, it's all speculation at the end of the day, but Richard's been giving us some updates as far as what happens first before the actual chain itself gets launched. Hex gains incoming. Yeah, totally. Seems like we're kind of doing almost like a triple bottom, it seems. I mean, the price itself is still consolidating, but when you think about it, we're still almost 2 times higher than the initial sacrifice, which was around like 8 cents. Right now we're sitting at 16.7 cents. So once again, part of the incentive to be a holder and be a long-term investor is not just the gains that you get from appreciation, but also the gains that you get from staking. Sensei Doze says, what's up, y'all? It's a great day to be a hexagon. Brock Perry, crypto learner. Okay, cool. Yeah, let me just do the intro real quick. Once again, we'll cover just some of the info rather quickly and then let everyone get on to the rest of their weekend and some other streams.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, be sure to share, be sure to comment. Yeah. Say it. Motherfucking jackpot. We still jackpot, bitch!
Thank you, Richard, for creating and founding the most amazing and disruptive financial technology cryptocurrency ever. Thank you, sir. And nice streams, Mr. BallietBran.
Cool. So yeah, thanks everyone for being here. Happy Sunday, wherever you guys are tuning in from. Jerry says the haircut looks good. Thank you. Definitely long overdue. So Ginger says, what about the phone staker app? So I do have one of those Gnosis Safe wallets. Kind of what I'm referring to is the seeds specifically. So I know the way that they kind of generate them is a little bit differently. But when you actually recite and you actually write down those seed phrases, it should be on paper. It shouldn't be in a digital form, is kind of what I'm getting at. I was talking to someone the other day after the unstake, and they were saying that they wanted to beef up their security, right? And I asked them kind of what their steps were, and they had their seed phrases on a Word document. And so once again, if you're printing it out, if you have it on any form of like online format, then you're just, you're asking for more exposure, and you're pretty much adding risk to that being a possibility. What's up, Bitfinesse? Let's see, Trevor Hansen. So they say, hey, Bran, Hex on discount. Totally, yeah. Hex is definitely on a discount. Thanks, Hector, for the cheer. That's a big one. Yeah, that's the proper way to be looking at this. I see so many people that their long-term investment might be, their time horizon might be like less than a year, right? And you can tell that maybe they just got into crypto, or maybe they just got into investing. But I can tell you that anything that's worth like achieving doesn't come overnight. It comes through consistency, it comes through patience, and opportunities like this. Yeah, they really are an opportunity, and that's cool that you're looking at it that way, because it really is. Hey, Bran, let's do this. Hex is the greatest of all times. It really is. Okay, cool. Yeah, so Ginger, we're definitely going to get into this because I think it's important. It's always fun for people to speculate on price or speculate when the chain's going to be launched, things like this. And yeah, it's definitely seeming like maybe not as the latest Hex, where that was like 8 months to a year, but I think PulseChain is probably going to be most likely released after the year. Even though I would like it not to, doesn't really matter. Software needs to be done properly and taken care of before they can launch. So they say, Richard said it'd be at least 4 to 6 weeks on an interview posted on his YouTube channel last week. Yeah, that was a really good stream. It was like Crypto Relly and some other guy as well. And they had a lot of questions for Richard that most people, kind of have. And Richard dispelled a lot of the myths and things like that I thought were pretty cool. What's up, Casey? Doing really good, man. Same for you. PulseSwap, easy 3 to 20x in 6 months. Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that, because the first product was Hex. Now we had the sacrifice for PulseChain, but I think that there's even a lot of people that missed that initial sacrifice with PulseChain, the 16-day phase, something like that, or maybe 19-day phase, that might want to be able to sacrifice for PulseSwap. So how exciting that, the PulseSwap sacrifice will be about 2 weeks before, a couple weeks before the actual chain itself is launched. And there's just so many opportunities going on. So let me just share the screen real quick with something that I had pulled up, and let's take a look here. Okay, okay, let's take a look here. Let's click on this. So this person's asking, well, let's just do the full context. So Richard said, PulseSwap will probably have a sacrifice phase a few weeks before mainnet. So I guess it's about 3 weeks before mainnet. This person says a few weeks. So mainnet is not happening December 2nd. And then Richard says, did you just ask me if mainnet launch is the same day as the 2-year anniversary meetup? The answer is no, and should be obvious. Testnet version 2 might be next week, though. So once again, Richard is really good at setting expectations, and he's never given any definite dates or definite times. And I think that's really important for everyone to kind of look at. And then same thing with Zach. Zach's got a very good point about, hey, he appreciates Richard taking the time to do things properly and to make sure that PulseChain is going to be a successful launch. So I do have another couple of tweets that I kind of want to read into, talking about a little bit more about the PulseSwap, I believe. So let me just scroll down a little bit here. So once again, it's actually on this one right here. Okay, cool. All right, so let's read this, and then we'll kind of say what's up to the chat and just see what people have to say. So once again, Wales does have a stream with a couple other guys, so feel free to tune into that now or later if you want. Got so many Hexican stream going on. I think the Hexicans in the UK, Hexy Bastard, I think is streaming too. But so Richard says, let's zoom in here. Okay. So imagine the world's largest yield farm. For example, Chainlink users on Ethereum Bridge their link to PulseChain where it's called E-Link. They already have their free link on PulseChain there from the fork. They deposit their E-Link and link into the PulseSwap liquidity pool. So this is what we were talking about in the other video about earning the actual PulseSwap token itself. Now they earn liquidity pool rewards from trading fees, and they earn rewards in PulseSwap tokens. So once again, the reward is going to be that PulseSwap token that we're going to be able to sacrifice for now. And if there's anything that I know, it's anything that Richard, if I ever have the opportunity to invest in something that he's a part of or something that he's helped create and build, then I definitely will. And a lot of us have had a lot of success with that kind of strategy in the first place. Richard says, it could be the world's largest yield farming project, as when have you ever gotten one side of the pair for free before? And it will back the value of all PRC20s. So this is going to be really, really cool to see. Guess who benefits from all the value of the PRC20s? The ERC20 holders that got them for free. They're backing the value of the coins that only they got. This makes PulseSwap and PLS, the native token of PulseChain, very useful. That's awesome. We want PulseChain, we want PulseSwap, we want all of it to have a lot of usability, and we want to also lower some of the fees from the Ethereum network, because as it stands today, the average send right now is $46.15, and then the average Uniswap swap is $141.99. So sometimes we say that on Sunday in the evening, in the middle of the night, they can be a little bit lower. But anymore, it seems that the way just doesn't ever seem to be going down. Once again, I wouldn't be interacting with Hex stakes. I wouldn't be interacting with the Ethereum network unless I absolutely had to, or unless I was going to do something for a very long-term stake. So Richard says, finally, I'm told the PulseSwap code is rather complete. It's been tested on the PulseChain testnet. I have not tested it myself yet, though. And there's a couple parameters that need chosen for fee defaults, liquidity provider things. Let's see. I'll get you a better update next week or the week after. So once again, people just need to have a little bit of patience. The best things, they always take a little bit of time to process, to build. But once they're done, they'll be significantly better, in my opinion, than anything else we've ever seen on the market. And this is kind of funny too. You've got the PS, PPS, and PPPS. So Richard says PPS, many PRC20s may be more valuable than their ERC20 counterparts because no one likes being robbed by insane gas fees. And he's got that part. Whoops. He's got that part in bold. Let me just go back here real quick here. 1 second here. Sorry about that. I clicked on it and meant to highlight it. So being robbed by insane gas fees. Since many tokens are totally being broken on Ethereum right now and retain just their speculative trading features, the PRC20 is affordable to use again and to trade. PPPS, say you want to bet on the price of Uniswap on Ethereum, but it costs too much Ethereum for gas. You can instead buy Uni on PulseChain. Maybe their prices are correlated. It's the same code, same ticker, bonded by liquidity. What if Uniswap on Pulse goes higher than on Ethereum? Innovation. So that's kind of what I wanted to go over right this second. The PulseSwap itself is going to be, once again, another opportunity for people that were late for the PulseChain sacrifice. And I think what a cool thing for everyone. Let's see. PulseSwap easy 3 to 20x in 6 months. Yeah, that's the exciting thing is, we haven't seen anything with PulseChain yet, right? As far as its actual launch, as far as it being enacted. But all we've seen is Hex and some other things that Richard's done in the past, right? He had helped out with the actual, the code and the auditing process of Tornado Cash. A lot of people don't know that, but he was part of the donator that helped with that. Do you recommend a metal-plated seed phrase storage solution? So honestly, I kind of do what Papa B talks about, where there's like this titanium plate, and You know, it's maybe like 2 inches by 4 inches, and then you literally etch it, and you etch it into the titanium, and that's usually what I do. Let's see. Rags to Riches says, shave and a haircut, looking sharp, BB. Hey, thanks, man. You too. And I'll tell you what, everyone, it's really cool how many people we have in the community that are streaming. We're getting to that point where, you know, you've got simultaneous streams happening all the time. We're getting to the point where we've got new Hexakin and PulseChain streamers every single day. And it's kind of, as RG3 has said, where it's almost like another generation and like innovation of people that have kind of built on top of the initial streamers. And I think that that's really cool. I think it's awesome to see the new opinions and perspectives. And also, as RG3 said too, their production quality is absolutely on game. So it's really, really cool. Yeah, Casey, I don't know how I didn't have one added for you yet. So I just done that a few seconds ago. Take a piece of stainless steel or titanium and engrave it there and hide it. Yeah, that's definitely a lot better than anything on paper. Once again, as Papa B has talked about, the actual ink, because generally you're doing pen and paper, right? Not like pencil. But the ink itself can bleed through, and there's a whole bunch of things that can happen over a long period of time that can degrade just the pen and paper storage solution. So especially when you see those hundreds of dollars become millions, you want to take that security seriously. And if you have a hardware wallet and you just have one hardware wallet, eventually you don't want to, but you might want to consider having more than one hardware wallet, having a decoy, things like this, because that's literally the definition of putting all your eggs in one basket. And you know, if you got robbed or hacked, things like that, socially engineered, that would be pretty sad for all of it to be on just one. Suited on Hexasy, how's it going, man? Greetings from the Mediterranean. Hey, awesome. Nice to see you. Double sack. Yeah, I'm really excited, right? I sacrificed a lot on the Pulse chain, and you know, it'll be cool to see some of the details with the PulseSwap when we can sacrifice for that. Because as Richard had said, it's going to be a few weeks before the Pulse chain launch itself happens. So what a great opportunity for people that are already delaying gratification, that are wanting to invest in assets, and to have something be successful once again. You know, Brock, this is a really good question. I actually don't know. So he says, is the December 2nd event going to be live streamed? I know that they have some like restrictions with the actual event itself. I don't think people can be, taking videos and photos for many of reasons, because the highest stakes people are going to be there. So I don't think they want other people to kind of interfere with that. But my guess is as good as yours, because I really don't know. Making Hex even more scarce by sacrificing for PulseSwap. Yeah, Brandon, that's what I'm wondering, man, because I know Hex is a lot more scarce with the Pulse chain sacrifice that we had. You can see how many people sacrificed, including the OA. And then same thing with this PulseSwap. Like, damn, dude, I already sacrificed like almost everything I had liquid for Pulse, and then now for PulseSwap. Luckily, I still have a little bit more liquid that I can do, so that'll be exciting. Yeah, that's the cool thing is with everyone, we've got so many different people that you can go back to. Oh, cool. We got the real Godwill in the house. Shout out to you. Talk about diamond hands and talk about the. This is Richard's favorite hexagon, is the real Godwill. And Richard talks about, what more could you want aside from someone buying a whole bunch of hex, staking it for very long amounts of time, and then just proving that their time horizon is not only longer than other people, but that you're treating the asset and the investment how it's designed. I think it's really cool to see people like the Godwill interacting with the community. For those that don't know, April of 2020 was when they first did a 10,000 Ethereum market buy, which absolutely exploded the price of Hex to prices that we've never seen again. More comparable to cake or sushi? Exactly. Does PulseSwap have its own token? I mean, PulseSwap is going to be the token. Yeah, so it's going to be a fork of like PancakeSwap, and then that's the actual liquidity providing token that you get in reward. I don't know. Here's the thing that I don't know. I don't know if you're going to be able to do anything else with that. I'm really not sure. All I know is that if you provide the liquidity on the both sides, you're earning that token as like a yield farming reward type of deal. But as far as what else you can do with it, I really don't have any idea. But that's a really good question. Crypto Learner, and nice to see you. I saw you in Wales' stream, so shout out to you. Says, clever Hexicans sacrificed Hex only and some value with the sends, 75% for good. Yeah, that's the really cool thing about what Richard's doing is it is the long-term game. And anyone that's ever questioned his intentions, I really think don't know who Richard is, because you see that $27 million that had been sacrificed for Pulse to sends, and you just see how much money that is. That's really cool to see that that's just the start of what he wants to do. Yoga Flame TV, when snapshot is their question. Honestly, we don't know, right? And Richard did say a handful of times when people were speculating that it was 11/18, right? Yeah, 11/18. That was just his birth time, right? There was nothing to that, nothing to kind of look into. But Richard did mention that he would tell people and give them a window when the snapshot itself, when you had to have your coins in your possession for the snapshot. So don't think it's happened yet. Once again, Richard is very clear with his communications, and he'll let everyone know when it's time, which is exciting, right? Because you got more time to continue to accumulate for your stakes to continue earning more yield. Ed, I really don't know. I mean, so it's going to be a copy of the whole system state itself. So that is going to be snapshotted. Honestly, as far as the other cryptos and things like that, as far as DOT goes, as long as that's an ERC20 token, all of that stuff will be copied in the system state. But then they would have to develop a front end for the staking and for you to be able to interact with those. So I'm really not too sure on that. When's PulseChain's release? So when the code is ready, that's pretty much the answer, is when the code is ready. Once again, for people that were with Hex since the beginning, there was about like an 8 to 9 month or maybe even longer delay. And it's because software itself one little bug in software or one little hang up can take copious amount of time to build around or to solve. And so Richard is working with the team to make sure everything is going to be successful and quality actually working once it launches. I know that there's a lot of people that would rather have it be launched sooner than later, but in my opinion, that's almost like a selfish thing to want, because you would be compromising and you'd be sacrificing security for having something sooner. And what good is having something more quickly or more soon if there's a security compromise that could be a bug or a flaw, things like that. So it'll get here when it gets here. I know a lot of people have a hard time of delaying their gratification that long or not having the possession of the thing. But, those of us that have been around the block kind of know what's going on. Exciting news with PulseSwap. I agree. A lot of people are going to be able to invest in this and participate and sacrifice. The Crypto Wonder podcast. Once again, this is another Hexican and Pulsican that makes content. So definitely go check out their channel. I was watching a stream, or not a stream, but a video from them yesterday. So go check them out. There's too many people for me to keep up with as far as naming all of the new people, but definitely go check them out. Let's see. Arbind says, does Papa B have a YouTube channel? I couldn't find it. I don't think he does. I know he does the Wake Up Hex with Discourse Syndicate and those guys, but I don't believe he has his own channel. He's kind of just helping other people on other channels / participating in them. Yeah, okay. I wasn't too sure. I thought it was its own blockchain. That's why I was like not too sure about that. So yeah, that's definitely not going to get copied. Mood Selector, that's a cool name. Says Bran is the man and the haircut is fresh. Thanks, dude. I was almost getting mistaken for the homeless people out here in Seattle. Just kidding. Vic, we really don't have more information on this. He says, what coins will be available for sacrifice for PulseSwap? I'm not too sure. I mean, if I could guess just as a random pie in the sky type of thing, I would think that maybe the same things that maybe we sacrificed for PulseChain would be kind of the same things that you might be able to sacrifice for PulseSwap. But that's kind of the thing about this stream and about kind of what's going on is I don't really want to speculate too much about what the possibilities are because we just don't have that information. So it's kind of, not very relevant until we have more. Wales is on still. Yeah, shout out to him. I know he was waiting for it was on Gerardo's channel, but they've got a staker app Sunday show. And that's really cool. We had Steph and all those guys, Kareem, talking about some of the updates. And that'll be really cool when that comes out. So Cicely has a really good question. Says, do you think Hex can do another 10,000x or even 1,000x? I feel I've missed the boat on substantial gains. You're not the only one that feels that way. And I would say that I think so 1,000%. So if we look at what Bitcoin's done, I think its most recent high was 69,000. And that was from a penny, right? It was actually under a penny way back in the day. But even from a penny to $69,000 is 6.9 million X. And that's with its 2 inflation bugs that it's had. That's with its spaghetti code that it has. That's with a lot of flaws, right, that Bitcoin does have. And Hex is designed to do that same thing and then eventually surpass Bitcoin and surpass a lot of things in market cap, kind of as a black hole for financial capital. The thing is, though, is that a lot of people, they might feel that way, but if you actually compare Hex to where Bitcoin was at 2 years old, Hex is absolutely, spanking Bitcoin's performance of what it was able to do at that time. So as far as our community goes, as far as the places that you can buy Hex, things like this, the average staking length is just going up and up. The ground foundation itself is being laid, and it's being set up for its financial instrument and for the global reserve currency and for those more mad gains. And I know you kind of feel that way, Cecily, especially when maybe day to day, right? You might have certain price fluctuations, but the thing that I can say is that with, say, your 401k, it's not like you look at that every single day and you're like, oh, why did this go down $100 or $1,000? It's kind of like over time, it builds and accrues the value. And as far as X goes, yeah, we're just doing another market cycle. And the cool thing about it is it happens a lot more quickly than, say, a Bitcoin market cycle or a regular crypto market cycle, which is about 3 years on average. So it's really nice to be a staker. We can actually look at something real quick here where people got paid out about 5 times the amount that they normally get paid out because there was a massive emergency end stake. We can take a look at that right now. Let's remove this comment here. Thanks everyone for being here. I know it's kind of tough when you have a couple of streams to listen to. When it's me, I'll listen to like both of them at the same time. But it's once again, it's an absolutely bullish thing that we have 2 or 3 or 4 streams going on at the same time, because you can always watch the replay, and it goes to show you that there's more people participating. It's so much better than in the beginning where, there was just a lack of content. Now there's an abundance of content that people have to educate themselves, inform themselves, and learn from others' mistakes. Like, try not to repeat them yourself. So this is the payout per T-share. T-share is just 1 trillion shares, and it's all relative to how many shares you have. It doesn't have to be 1 T-share. You could have literally 1 share, and that one share would still get rewarded based on the rest of the shares in the pool. So you can see on this graph itself that the average payout itself used to be like 1 hex, less than a hex, and it's just gradually been going upwards. And so we notice a trend that it's going upwards over time, which is really, really cool. Part of that is people see such mad gains, and some people, they want to end their stakes at, say, a 50% time served and maybe just get back their principal if they didn't have the big payday. This itself was from someone that had end staked like a shark wallet, and I believe that was from possibly a security compromise. Once again, we kind of covered some of the information there. Take your security seriously. No one else is going to for you, and you really are your own bank. So you can have those millions of X gains like what happened in Bitcoin, but there's also people that have Bitcoin literally on hard drives, and they'll never be able to access them because they can't crack their encryption, they don't remember their password, etc. So take it seriously now, because that $100 that goes to $1 million or even higher, how bad would you feel in a gut-wrenching feeling if you weren't able to actually recover that when you had wanted to sell? So this is what I'm talking about right here. This is about 5 times the average payout. So lately it's been about roughly 5 hex per day, a little bit more. So a little bit less than 5 times of the payout per T-share this one day. And so this is kind of why it is important, if you are going to stake, to possibly be staking sooner than later, because you never know when you're going to have Nightly, the founder of Wise, unstake his bags and have a huge payout. I think that was actually this day right here. It might have been October 11th, something like that, that the founder of Wise had unstaked a whole bunch of his bags, and we got this massive payout. And so no matter what happens, the Truth Engine, so no matter what happens, whether you get hacked or socially engineered or compromised, the system itself will always behave how the smart contract was programmed. So check that out. Once again, 24.36. And so hopefully we can learn from other people's mistakes and not have those same horror stories. Cool. So yeah, thanks everyone for being here in the chat. Yeah, quick reminder, do yourselves a favor and get a glass of water, hydrate. Got mine right here, got some ice water, appreciate that. Watching how to make a Smucker's Uncrustable, cheers. Okay, cool. Let's see if we got any other comments here. Once again, I don't want to make this too long. There's not a whole bunch of information to cover, so I want to be considerate of everyone's time. Hex will go to $1 million. That's the kind of stuff that I personally think about, and that I personally, my mind is set towards for the future. There's that thinking and frame of mind, which is like, oh, what if the OA dumps, or oh, what if the whales dump, or oh, what if Hex goes back under a penny? And then there's the other framing that's like, what if Hex goes to, like you mentioned, $1 million, things like this. Its actual curve itself, when you compare it to Bitcoin, the 6.9 million X, Bitcoin had done its huge parabola, its huge S curve, I would say. I don't really see it going up a whole bunch more in the future relative to what it's already done. But then when you compare Hex over that, you can go to hexgraphs.com, you can see the overlay. But Bitcoin is up here with its 6.9 million X, and Hex is down here at the flat line. So we haven't even done our curve yet towards the top. So as I like to say, we're so early that people think that they're late. Let's see what else we got here. Oh yeah, thank you, Marianne. Yeah, Papa B is everywhere. Whales is everywhere. There's just so many people that are spending their time without getting paid, and we're trying to educate others that may have questions, that may have been in other cryptocurrencies, and trying to just help educate. We really are only as strong as our weakest links. He also streams with the Hex Asians. Yeah, so check out the Hex Asians. We got Hex Australians, got Hexicans everywhere. And PulseChain is just going to allow that to drop so much more. So Chocolate says, has testnet 2 dropped or this week? It has not. It has not. So Richard just mentioned in his most recent tweet that I was reading earlier that the testnet version 2 would either be next week or the week after. Once again, when Richard says like, oh, it could be next week, that really could be like that, meaning next week could be like 1 to 3 weeks, right? That's usually what we've seen in the past. I hope Snapshot is before PulseSwap SAC so we can get EHEX after getting the double. I know what you mean. Sir Whale, what else did you invest in around the Ethereum Genesis timeframe? And what advice would you have for someone new? Yeah, those are definitely good questions. Obviously, I'm not that person, so shout out to the Godwill and for being here. But to the Godwill, once again, even if they don't respond to you, answer you, get back to your question, if you can kind of just observe what they're doing and see, okay, this person literally has been holding since the Genesis block of Ethereum, and that's like 6-7 years ago, something like that. If you can see what they've done with Hex in terms of their staking, in terms of their commitment, the person definitely seems to know what the heck they're doing, and how bullish is it to have such massive whales in Hex. Some people think that whales are bearish because they have the wrong framing. Once again, they have the framing that these people that already have large amounts of assets and large amounts of wealth are going to need to dump for whatever reason, when in reality it's the opposite. They want to continue growing their wealth, they want to continue hedging their bets against their other assets, and they want to participate in things that are going to be successful. We'll answer a few more questions. Once again, don't want to want to stay on topic and want to see if anyone has any other questions, and then we can kind of wrap things up and let Wales take it over. Can we use PulseSwap now? No. I know Richard had mentioned that there is a version running on the testnet, right? That the devs are kind of working with, but Richard had mentioned that he hasn't tested it yet. He hasn't used it yet, even though the other people have. And I don't know if that code's actually available. They might just be running it on their own side. And I'm not sure if other people have actually used it aside from the main core developers. Thank you. Yep, that was very, very much needed. He said a few weeks before mainnet. Does he mean Pulse mainnet or PulseSwap mainnet? I mean, I don't know what the exact question is, but I know he was mentioning that the PulseSwap sacrifice would be like 3 weeks before the PulseChain mainnet, is what it sounds like on my end. So yeah, I think that's yeah. My sack bags are near empty. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. But I'm gonna sacrifice whatever I can, whatever is liquid, and looking forward to that. Yeah, Marion. So yeah, Marion definitely has once again, she's been around for such a long time. And when you listen to these people thinking and what they're doing, it really goes to show you the success mindset that people have. So she says, I have to work extra hours now for that sacrifice. And that's the way to be thinking about this, is if you could rewind time and have the Bitcoin at a penny, or if you could rewind time and have the Ethereum at, say, 15 cents, things like that, then how much would you buy and how much would you load up on if you knew that you would have that opportunity again? And what if it wasn't the exact opportunity with, say, PulseChain, PulseSwap and stuff, but what if it was, even greater or very, very similar? Yeah, totally, 1000%. Thomas Silva says, would you purchase Hex at this price? Yeah, I definitely would. I mean, when you think about, because I was restaking and purchasing some at higher prices than this, and when you see that the price is at a pretty significant consolidation, I mean, 16.5 cents compared to the 56 at the all-time high. I think that it's a very good strategy in general whenever you're accumulating something, whether it be building a position or getting out of a position. The dollar cost average technique is pretty good, but when we've already kind of dropped down to this price range 2 or 3 other times, and we've kind of wicked back up a few times since then if it was me personally, and I was, wanting to get and scoop up more, this is a decent range in my opinion. So, but it's all about, once again, like, do you have that longer term actual outlook on the investment, or are you just trying to flip it in a week? I mean, some people are putting in, stuff that they can't afford to lose into cryptos and investments, and that might be where I would draw the line personally. But everyone can do what they want to. Okay, we'll do one or two more questions. Once again, we'll let everyone get back to Wales' stream. Says, do you think it's still worthwhile for the people who missed the sacrifice to, am I lagging a little bit? The people who missed sacrifice to still sacrifice 50 or $100 for Pulse gas for swaps when launch happens? Once again, if I was in that scenario, I personally would, just because I think that, unless I had a little bit of Ethereum, but yeah, I mean, I don't think it hurts to have a little bit of the native crypto and currency itself. The other thing that I actually didn't cover, I don't know why I'm lagging, but the other thing I didn't cover as well was that the actual freemium itself, there was initially going to be a 30-day clawback for the holders of Ethereum. Not only were they getting diluted more than 10,000x to 1 Ethereum, but now, instead of having the clawback, that actually takes a lot of memory and space with the nodes for them to resync and re-update. So Richard's like leaving the freemium, which is exciting because it's not going to dilute the future price very much, and it's going to allow people that didn't know about Pulse until later to be able to use it. So, yep, that's all I have. We'll see if there's any last questions. Smart contract and a haircut, looking good, Bran. What's your highest intention for being you? We know where Hex is going. I don't know really what that question is referring to. I mean, I don't know. I think everyone should be their highest self, and kind of thinking about where you want to go once you have the wealth, because that will be solved over time generally, especially if you have more time in the market. But yeah, definitely be focusing on how you can help others, what you want to do once you have that success. That way you're not just wondering where to go next. So that's it, everyone. We're going to make this a rather short stream. Once again, want everyone to get back to Wales' stream and, go enjoy the weekend. I know we had Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for Richard, for all of the community in Hex, PulseChain, and everything, right? SciVive too. SciVive community is absolutely amazing. But get back to it. Have a productive week. Next week, I think it's next Thursday, is going to be December 2nd. That's going to be Hex's second birthday. And once again, Richard mentioned that, some people were speculating, PulseChain mainnet would go live then, things like this. But as there's speculation and then there's reality. So that's the speculation. The reality is that PulseChain, the testnet version 2 is not even out yet. Richard said that might happen next week or the week after. Who really knows? And, letting something be built properly instead of trying to rush that house foundation and then have it crack once you build everything else. So I'm excited for Hex's second birthday. I might make a little video or something for then. But until then, everyone have a great weekend. Go watch Wales' stream. I know he's with Thoughtschild and Markable. So go get back to that. I'll do the outro. And thanks, everyone, for being here. Thanks to the God Whale and everyone else. So see everyone next time. And, stay long, stay strong.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, be sure to share, be sure to comment. Say hey. Say hey. Say hey. Say hey. Say hey. Hex. Triple jackpot, bitch!
Thank you, Richard, for creating and founding the most amazing and disruptive financial technology cryptocurrency ever. Thank you, sir. And nice streams, Mr. BallietBran.